Now we can proceed.
Hello, team. In this session, I'm going to speak about the adaptive cards, Microsoft Teams adaptive cards integration with the automation solution stack. So we have key agendas listed here. Myself and Bhargav will be taking you through. So let me quickly give you the background of what is this solution, what is the need for it. In KDI core automation team, we have totally 9 projects. There are 3 key channels. We keep posting the info, but we do it manually. This is as of today, the number of channels 3. Considering partners and third-party ecosystem, which is coming up because our products platforms are evolving very fast, the number of channels most possibly will go up. So that means today it is 3. In future, in the near future, in next for the next few months, it may be any number of channels, maybe around 5, 8, 10. We don't know. So it's important for us to be prepared, to forecast and be prepared in that area, and how many channels we need to update with respect to our key work areas. So the current form of automation run reporting is solely basically email. How we run this automation tests through pipelines, CI/CD pipelines, and the results are sent automatically to the configured recipients. But the recipient list is pretty short. We don't broadcast the things, we only send the notifications. So what are the challenges with email based reporting? Number one, it's a limited numbers. We don't really have large number of recipients there. Number two, email is a kind of age old mode of communication for sharing key details. If automation reporting is somewhat key details that everybody is looking up to at certain critical stages during deployment, pre-deployment, post-deployment, then email-based reporting definitely is not up to the mark. And another aspect is there are plenty of emails. Our inbox mostly spammed, and our email is just going to sit there. Even if you create Outlook rules or whatever the Outlook email client rules you create, the emails are sitting there in the respective folder. Still, if you consider the amount of time anybody who's especially at the management ranks, people, if you ask, will they be able to spend enough time to understand all this? No. Many of the times the emails just go there and trash it after some time. So there is a clear need for us to really improve the mode of communication, especially when third parties and partners are also involved, in addition to our internal colleagues, our management. So there is a clear need. Obviously, we see that. So what is the best way? So we need to switch from notification to the broadcasting, basically a kind of email based communication to the broadcasting in a channel, a kind of Teams channel where all key stakeholders are present. So automatically there will be a kind of notification on the Teams channel instead of notifying them about the key incidences, events, or whatever it be through emails. So the best way for us to do that is we have already a kind of automation solution stack. Now integrate a new feature which we recently explored, which is adaptive cards, Microsoft Teams adaptive cards with our automation solution stack. So this is something we can easily do, and that's what now Bhargav is going to talk about. Bhargav, over to you.
Sure, guys. So can you please go to the slide number 2? Okay, I'll just share my screen. So I go, okay. We'll go through the quick agenda. So we will have an introduction to adaptive cards and the relation between the Microsoft Teams hook and the adaptive cards, and how can you create an incoming web hook and understand its payload structure, and integrating with adaptive cards, and how can we integrate with any test automation solution, or we will take Selenium as an example for this session now. So As we said, adaptive cards is the new way of delivering the information to the web or the responsive web, and also the Microsoft Teams. Actually, it supports all kind of platforms like within the Windows and outside, like any messaging system that supports the like the responsive web. Okay, so you can integrate in any websites these days, or else like in the emails for the Outlook for web emails or anything. It's just like the new way of sending the information in a much more interesting way, and like that. So that's about the introduction to adaptive cards. For more information, we can also go to this website. They have a very good documentation about why it is important and how what exactly it's beneficial for as well, and the relation between Microsoft Teams and adaptive cards. So if we look at the website of the adaptive cards, it's so promising to deliver the results. So we can design the cards. So if we go to the samples, we will see different kinds of card samples that we can design these days, and it's up to us. We can customize as per our requirements. So this is one of the design actually. Flight updates, so this is one of the design I can create to send the information to my customers. So food order kind of designs, so with the buttons and all. So this is how it works actually. But to send this, so there is a JSON structure we need to understand, and then there is a JSON data we need to understand to create this card, and that's it. And the designing is so easy. You can go to the designer and you can just drag and drop what exactly you want from where, and then you will get this payload sample data editor and the payload as well. For example, if I need to have an image set over here, so I'll just drag and drop. I'll have the image, and then I'll put my ID in the bottom. After understanding this, JSON will get to know that, and then that's it. So my card is ready. So I just need to change or update the properties or the parameters on which image it has to deliver my customers. That's it, and the card is ready. So we don't have to work on like developing this card. It's just like designing the card and understanding its JSON payload. So for this session, so our requirement is to send the test results to the Microsoft Teams. So I have a Microsoft Teams channel. So this is, let's assume this is a sample test cases that I am three test cases that I am running on daily basis, and I want the results directly to be delivered to this Microsoft Teams after I do the test run, and some buttons like to see the test results, like the Allure results that we see, or else the extent results that we are hosting. And also, like if I want to raise a bug based upon these failures, I need to connect to my Azure DevOps or else any Jira project. So and then like more things that we can do with these buttons, and also if I want to schedule a meeting with the developers because of these failures, so I can also design in such a ways. So this is one of the design actually. So for that, the very step to achieve something like this, the very first step is go to apps section in the Microsoft Teams, and then search for incoming webhooks. Okay, incoming webhook. So this is from the Microsoft Corporation. What we need to do is we need to add this to a team. So I already have a Teams channel in my personal Outlook. So I'll just select the same. So the channel name is Auto Infra General, and next is set up a connector. So once you click on set up a connector, you will get a JSON endpoint. It's configure, and then you need to give a name actually. So let me give as uh, SE test is the name of my connector. So you can change the image as well if you want, or else I'll just create it, and I will get a JSON endpoint when the API endpoint. So this is very important. So you just copy it and then paste it somewhere. Okay, done. So there is a new API that got configured for your channel Auto Infra. Okay, so the thing is like, so this is an incoming webhook itself, means it can only receive the data to this channel, and you cannot send any data to this outside this. So it's secured as well. So it's only one way, like that. So let me try this. So this is a webhook. Webhook is ready. So now I'll go to my Postman. I will create a new, and I'll create a new request. And now I have this. So now we are posting the results, right? And it's receiving it. So it's the post action. Now this is done. Then the next thing is body. So what do I need to send actually? So for that, we should have the knowledge of how the webhook works and also the adaptive cards works. So if we look at the webhooks documentation, webhooks has its own requirements of JSON payload structure. So there are like different kinds of JSON payload structure. Let's say I'll just copy this one and put it in Postman, and I will send it. So I'm receiving the success code, and see, this is the data I just sent it. So this is one kind of request. This JSON payload is from the webhooks. So webhooks can only send the static data, and it's not that great that we cannot enhance it. So if you look at the second JSON schema that it supports is attachments. So this is what we need, and this is very important to attach the entire design of the adaptive cards inside this. So let me take this as an example. I'll just paste it. So now I will remove this attachment from here, and I will add my own attachment inside this that is from the adaptive cards. Let me go back to adaptive cards samples. I'll pick a sample. Let's say order delivery. It has more parameters. Order confirmation. Yeah, order confirmation has very less parameters. So I'll just take this template and put it inside my attachments, and I will update these parameters now. So customer phone number 1234, first name and last name ABCD. So title is test message, and I'm just sending this adaptive card now within the webhooks as an attachment. So this is very important. So this is the logic behind connecting these two, the webhooks and also the adaptive cards. And to get this knowledge, it almost took like a lot of research, reading the documents, and it almost took like a couple of months to understand how these two work together. And there is no such information, direct information available on the internet that will help us. How can we integrate both? So some error. Let's see this error. 400 is a bad request. Okay, let me check one more time. Mhm. So let me put this again and change the parameters. test 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's set these numbers. Okay, maybe I'm doing something wrong over here, but I have some examples to show you. So these are the attachments that are created from the same adaptive cards itself. So if I just put the right way, the JSON, understand the JSON and give the parameters in the right way. And if I just put this same JSON over here as an attachment, and if I send it, it works. So as we see, it just got printed over. So there are different kinds of designs actually. So for this session, now we will learn about how can we now we have a design over here actually, but what we need is like we need it designed something like this with all the test results that are being delivered, and then its pass or fail statuses. So something like let me show the very good one. Come on, scroll. So let's say this is one of the example. Let's take this. So I want this like test case ID, test case name, and then its result, whether it's pass or else it failed. And then the view test results button, where I need to see my test results, like let's say our Allure test results, and then raise a bug is which will connect it to our Azure DevOps. So for that, what we need is, so the very first step is to design your own card in the adaptivecards.io and change your parameters and figure out what are the parameters that you need to send, and then you create your own JSON body over here. So once it is done, what we need to do is you need to create a JSON payload. So this is our JSON payload. So what you need to create, we need to create the Pojo classes to integrate with the Selenium with Java and the TestNG. So I already have these Pojo classes that are created in this listeners package Microsoft Teams. So this is the entire Pojo class for the design that we are using. And after that, the Pojo class is ready. You need to have a builder class, so which will send the data to this class at the runtime. Okay. And after that, you need to use couple of test ng listeners. That's I test listener, I suit listener, and also the I invoked method listener. So at on start, so we are adding the test case names to an array list, and also adding the test results to the new array list, and also a test case ID that is being taken from our own Azure DevOps annotation. So that's how the design is. So and on finish, what it will do is as like on suit finish. So what it will do is it will just whatever the array list has the data with all these test cases and IDs, and then it's a runtime and execution errors. It will just send it to the JSON payload, and then we will receive the test results at the end of the execution to the Microsoft Teams channel. So that's how it works actually. Any ideas? So we'll have a separate session on how can we create the JSON payloads, different JSON payloads, and how can we like have the builder classes and what exactly is about, and how can we integrate with the TestNG. So this is one of the sample good reports from one of our like Phoenix test suites. So I get to know like what are the test cases that are failing. So with all this, and there is some issue that some are not updated with the Azure DevOps test case IDs. So we get this like this, they don't get updated wherever there is no information that I have provided. So it's all up to us on how do we want to design our test results. And there is also one more thing I would like to show. And one more design technique. So like having the test results inside the error results, the error stack also should be delivered whenever there is an error. For example, this is the new design we're working on. This is the test case ID, test case name, and there is an error. Then it should also show the error that got from the either the protector or else the selenium or whatever it is. So we are working on integrating this button, which will be expanded for every test case whenever there is an error for more information. So or else you can also post the screenshots. So you will see the card very simple. And once you expand the test case, you will see either you can have a screenshot posted here or else you can have the error stack posted here as well. So designing the code is super easy, and it's all up to our designing ability, like how do we want to send the test results. Um, that's all for now. So if you have any questions, please do ask.
Bhargav,
Hi. Yeah, right. Yeah, thank you.
man. So I have one concern. So
Yeah.
you said that we are posting the result in a specific changelog channel, right? Specific channel,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So